creepy TikToks that will make you rethink reality. Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
Get a load of this. Just a joke.
After all these years, I've never met the Olsen twins. He introduced me to them. I said to him, how do I tell them apart? He says, Ashley Swallows.
How is this funny?
Is it true that you used to give Mary Kate acting lessons? He'd tell her, act like this never happened.
Bob Saget, who and the girl in
What kind of joke is
1990.
that? And it's crazy, because it seems to be the theme with all these young stars.
I may end up running off with you myself, you know.
That's what Steven says.
It's Steven Spielberg?
Yeah. Hi, Steven, I love you.
Second best again. Story of my life with women, yeah.
She even talks about being at those Hollywood parties.
Well, I had grown up very fast, and it's not very normal to see a 9-year-old at a big Hollywood party drinking.
You heard that right. At 9 years old, she was at Hollywood parties getting drunk. And it's crazy how it's such a common theme for these childhood stars to get institutionalized for acting out.
I watched the full video on TikToks. It's way more disturbing than what is shown here. I literally couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Folks don't know when you wear the Lacoste clothes, you're wearing the clothes of a brother who designed that. Rene Lacoste is the designer of the Lacoste shirts that we see now today. That's still a very high-end clothing line that we see in high-end stores all around the world. Now, a lot of people don't know that Rene Lacoste was a black man who lived in France, and he was a tennis player. They called him the alligator because he would just decimate his opponents. And his father was white, but his mother was black Jamaican sister. And they kept that quiet. They still kind of keep that quiet to this day. You don't hear too much about his mother. But Lacoste is a black man.
Why does everything have to be about color? It explains why nothing had changed about people. Just support the success, bro. His name is Richard Davis. He's a defense attorney who has Tourette's. Said that he's being called a reptile.
You have to have permission to do everything. You have to have permission to marry the love of your life. You have to have permission to travel down the road when we have the inalienable right to travel from point A to point B. You people think you're free? You're not free. You're free-range chickens. That's what you are. You're free-range chickens held in an area you're not allowed to go past, and if not, you go to jail or you get shot. Stay on the plantation, do what you're supposed to do, pay your taxes, and shut up. Right?
In the late 1800s, they were talking about more land beyond Antarctica.
Remember, the word extraterrestrial means extra land. They're telling you that there's more land in here that they don't talk about.
There could be more land in some of the oceans where it's just all blue on the map. Nobody knows. You're not cruising around on big ships or flying over it on planes and looking, you know, nobody's out there charting anything.
Have you heard of such a thing as no-fly zones? For instance, you can't fly in certain areas near the Arctic Circle or the Antarctic Circle. The reasons being is because there are lands there that we're not supposed to know about. They don't want those lands to be discovered.
All these corrupt systems that are stealing money from us, kidnapping our children, just doing horrible things, they rely upon the cattle staying on the ranch, the slaves on the plantation. That's why flat Earth is the most important knowledge we can obtain. It's because there is more land.
Don't look at us to say, go prove it. It won't allow us to go prove it. We're not the lazy ones here. We're being restricted from going to prove this to you. So because of that, of course we're going to speculate. It's a red flag. If that's not a red flag to you, I don't know what is. They won't allow us to go. Allow us to go. If we go and there's nothing there, I'll admit I'm wrong. But all signs point that they're hiding more land.
If there is more land, and I sincerely believe that there is, then that's the perfect reason to lie to everybody. It's not just about hiding a place for more resources and where else we can go and dig for gas and gold. It's not about that. They're hiding freedom. They know that as soon as we all find out that there's another place to go without dictatorship, that we'd be gone.
There's endless amounts of everything, and there's so much more land out there, and there's many places to explore, and they just want to keep us here in the middle of the pond, stuck here thinking that this is all there is.
What happens to the price of gold and all natural resources if there's more land? Gold can't go to $1 an ounce. Gasoline can't go to 20 cents a gallon. We can all have, thousands of acres of land to ourselves. The whole system crumbles. The entire system crumbles.
First watch the video, then let me know.
They divide everyone with race when we all are the human race. But we got to come together and stop being used and manipulated by the GOV.
I don't know if you heard this theory. It's called the Jesus contract.
What's that?
So Kanye was preaching in one of his concerts, I think, or like he held a little concert.
Yeah.
And he said this. He was like, they've taken all the producers, they've taken all the artists, and they've moved us to Hollywood. The D word has taken all of us to Hollywood to chase these gold trophies. And in these contracts, you can't say the word.
Oh yeah,
Jesus.
I heard about that.
Yeah, and he said in Ye Studio you can say Jesus, and they all went crazy. Yeah. So I don't know if you know, but I did more research, and it's crazy. You don't realize how the media censors the word Jesus. There was a big one where a soccer player, he was celebrating
Neymar. It was Neymar.
Yeah. And he was wearing the Jesus band, and on TV they blurred it out.
Yeah.
And then one of the boxers, I think, he was like, after an interview, he was like, "Oh yo, I dedicate this win to my Lord and Savior," and then it cut out right away. And every time on the news, whenever like there's political stuff going, "Oh, Jesus did this, Jesus did that," always cut it out.
Yeah.
The truth is scary because Jesus is coming back, and you can say that supposedly it doesn't exist, but there are some who aren't ready for the truth. So laugh as much as you can, but we'll see who will laugh last. By the way, Ye is evil now.
Have you ever wondered? In 100 years, in 2124, we will all be buried with our relatives and friends. Strangers will live in our homes, which we fought so hard to build, and they will own everything we have today. All our properties will be unknown, which have not yet been born, including that car you spent a fortune on. It will probably be scrapped. I guess it will be in the hands of an unknown collector. Our descendants will hardly know who we were, nor will they remember us. How many of us know our grandfather's father? After our death, we will be remembered for a few years. Then, we will only be a portrait on someone's library. And a few years later, our history, our photos, our deeds go into the dustbin of oblivion. History. We won't even be memories. Maybe if one day we stopped to analyze these questions, we would understand how ignorant and weak the dream of obtaining everything was. If only we could think, certainly our approaches, our thoughts would change. We would be other people, always having more and more, without having time for the things that are really worthwhile in this life. I'd change all that to live and enjoy those walks I've never taken, those ungiven hugs, those kisses to our children and our loves, those pranks we never had time for. Those would definitely be the best moments to remember. Basically, they would fill our lives with joy. And that is what we waste, with greed, intolerance day after day. There is still time for us. Think about it.
I don't think this is true anymore with social media. My great-great-great-grandchildren are going to see videos of me on Facebook or YouTube, memories in 100 years. But let me know how you feel about this.
Walk amongst us.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Everywhere, especially in Hollywood.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into it. Man, what's going on in Hollywood?
Lots of weird.
Get into it. Man. I mean, do we think the devil lives there?
I I think the devil lives within a lot of people that live in Los Angeles specifically.
Don't you live in Hollywood?
I do, and I want to get the F out of there ASAP.
Okay, look. Now we understand. The devil won't let me.
Yeah.
The devil won't set me free.
Literally, I'm trapped.
It's the mark of the beast. Hey, what do you think? Hey, would you take the mark if you could have your cell phone inside your body or never have to call?
Take the mark. Take the mark for a Grammy right now.
For a Grammy.
I'd like to first of all thank the devil.
I'm very honored to be able to receive this amazing award from the depths of my soul, from the depths of my soul.
I'm not desensitized. I've known what's up for years, and I'm not around. This world makes me grow closer and closer to my Bible each day.
Not poor. You don't go to poor countries to make money. There are very few poor countries in this world. Most countries are rich. The Philippines are rich. Brazil is rich. Mexico is rich. Chile is rich. Only the people are poor. But there's billions to be made there, to be carved out and to be taken. There's been billions for 400 years. Capitalist European and North American powers have carved out and taken the timber, the flax, the hemp, the cocoa, the rum, the tin, the copper, the iron, the rubber, the bauxite, slaves, and the cheap labor have taken out of these countries. These countries are not underdeveloped, overexploited.
There's a quote from John Henry Clark. It says, Europeans not only colonized most of the world, they colonized information about the world.
Hello. My name is Montague William III. And what I will tell you may well sound absurd, but the less who believe it, the better for me. For you see, I'm in banking and big industry. For many a year we have controlled your lives, while you all just struggle and suffer in strife. We created the things that you don't really need, your sports cars and fashions and plasma TVs. I remember it clearly how all this begun. Family secrets from father to son, inherited knowledge that gives me the edge, while you people lie sleeping at night in your beds. We control the money that controls your lives, whilst you worship false idols and wouldn't think twice about selling your souls for a place in the sun. These things that won't matter when your time is done. But as long as they're there to control the masses, I just sit back and consider my assets, safe in the knowledge that I have it all, while you common people are losing your jobs. You see, I just hold you in utter contempt.
You can call us common people, peasants, slaves, but we know that you feel empty inside. Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and life. Whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
From a trusted source, supposedly dug up from the dark web, an actual photo from a long time ago of a draconian who lived among humans in a small town in the Netherlands. People thought he had a strange illness and were afraid to touch him, but they never knew who this beast really was.
If this is real, which I don't believe, I still don't think the world beast is appropriate.
Producer said to me, take your off. And I said no. And I left, and they told me they were gonna burn all my music. And they didn't stop asking me, and then I just froze and I don't even remember. I felt full on pain. Then I went numb. And then I was sick for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks after, and I realized that it was the same pain that I felt when the person who dropped me off pregnant on a corner, my parents' house, because I was vomiting, because I'd been being abused. I was locked away in a studio.
Fast forward to present. She is now a satanic control, a procurer from the elite cabal.
When did she show up?
Usually when I hear the crowd, when I put on my stilettos, when like the moment right before when you're nervous and that other thing kind of takes over for you. Then Sasha Fierce appears, and my posture and the way I speak and everything is different.
I have met Justin before, yes. I have met Justin before, yes. I'm changing.
And encourage them to embrace their darkest desires.
And I really encourage people to look into the darkness and look into places that you would not normally look.
I kind of get possessed by the devil when I'm performing. I like headbanged so hard that I got concussion.
Roman is a crazy boy who lives in me, and he says the things that I don't want to say. He was born, just a few months ago. I think he was born out of rage. He was conceived in rage, so he bashes everyone. He threatens to beat people, and he's violent. I don't want to blame him. I asked him to leave, but he can't. He's here for a reason. People have brought him out. People conjured him up, and now he won't leave.
They want to be Catherine Hudson that I don't even want to look like Katy Perry anymore sometimes. Okay. And like that is a little bit of why I cut my hair, is because I really want to be my authentic self.
This little mobile.
Wow.
Wow.
Then a panic attack. I don't know why. It's been like coming on all day, but I can't think. Yeah, well, you have essential oils. Everything looks folded. Stop!
Was not to become what I became with this level of fame. My soul is possessed by this devil. My new name is.
How I came about being a lyricist is weird, because I started out technically, like I used to write all the time, before I started going into the Rain Man thing.
For the rainy day, Rain Man is back.
Everybody say, Mr. Rain Man, can we have a rainy day?
Turn it up real quick. Before everybody starts screaming and saying, oh, like I told y'all earlier, you motherfuckers have entered the rapture. And if ain't nobody flying up to heaven right now, obviously all y'all is going to hell. Right with me. So, let's get it. Oh, you already here. I'm so sorry. You can't get out. You're stuck. It's over. You heard the song a million times and you didn't even know. That's y'all on here if y'all think I sold my soul. Y'all coming right with me, you dummies.
It's crazy how these entertainers of the music world can bluntly tell us that they are possessed and worship the devil, and some of us laugh and joke about it and call it drugs, so on and so forth. It's almost like we don't believe the devil exists, and that where you make your mistakes. Don't go anywhere, because we still have fire clips after fire clips back to back. I don't think it's climate change, just more land hidden from us. But look at that. Antarctica is Mars.
Sleep.
Oh, well, sleep. Well, we need to stop really looking at the concept as sleep, because we get a misunderstanding of what the whole process is. So it's really all about fasting. So yes, fasting is important, because every time we go to sleep, every time we close our eyes, every time we shut the digestive system down, the body automatically goes into repair. So the more waste, the more toxins that are in the body, then the body needs more time to sleep. The less waste in the body, the less toxins you have to process, less time you need to sleep. So, if you want to live a longer life, or at least have more time to live, then keep your body clean, and you won't have to go 8 hours into the body shop at night.
My mother and I start a day with, of course, praying, and then we drink a big glass of hot water, and then around 10 we drink goat milk. I don't like it, but she made me do it. Then we can eat whatever between 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. and after that, no more eating.
It's spelt in all capitals here. So's yours, so's your driver's license, your health card, anything you get from the government, your name is spelt in all capital letters. And when you use any government identification, you are identifying yourself as a corporation, and you are existing within the jurisdiction of corporate law. And just because you didn't know what you're doing, that's no excuse. It doesn't exonerate you from liability. You're participating. The only way out is non-compliance.
There is some truth to it, but always do your own research. And I want to know how to get out of this enslavement.
Right. The silver one glove that he would wear.
Yes, sir.
That's the first time I remember seeing it. Now, it might have been before that. I don't know, but that's the time I recollect seeing it.
Pretty much so. And what is it say? What was the significance of the one silver glove?
That's what I don't know.
That's another hidden message, just like in Thriller, him coming up out of the grave. His family didn't believe in that. So everything is called subliminal seduction. They tell you what it is, and you see it in plain sight, and you think it's something else.
Wow.
Everybody was mad at me until a white woman confirmed it.
Coroners have officially pronounced Michael Jackson unalived between 18 and 20 years ago. Okay, then that puts the timeline between 1978 and 1979.
That they found his remains on Neverland. Why did they call it Neverland?
I don't know. Why did they call it Neverland?
Never. Whether he's dead, you never gonna forget Michael Jackson, huh?
No.
Seriously, I did not understand anything that man just said. Let me know in the comment what he said.
You're gonna do a lot to get there, like sign your name in blood in a contract with the devil.
I kind of sang about, what was going on in my life at 15, and that's how I got introduced to the music industry. I swear I wanted to be like the Amy Grant of music. Yeah. But it didn't work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil. Well, needless to say, sold my soul.
It's a dance with the devil. I'm a cure, real Russell. It's a dance with the devil.
I'm trapped. If I can go back, I never would have rapped. I sold my soul to the devil. I'll never get it back. I just want to leave.
Do you record while the bus is moving, or does it have to come to a stop?
Yeah, well, sometimes they don't want to, and they're, Gaga, we can't get, the frequency's weird, and, it's sounding a little bit strange, and I'm like, if you don't get this right now, I swear to Lucifer, I'm gonna, I get a little bit mad.
I sold my soul to the devil. I know it's a crappy deal. Lisa came with a few toys like a Happy Meal.
Why is your hand over your eye?
Because I'm a devil worshiper. What are you talking about? All right, well, I have tickets to see the devil worshiper.
Roman is a crazy boy who lives in me. And he says the things that I don't want to say.
Only Jesus saves. What is it worth to gain the whole world but to lose your soul? If you know, you know.
Why the Ethiopian Bible got banned. The Ethiopian Bible is one of the most mysterious and controversial books that exists. containing 88 books compared to the typical 66 books of the King James Bible. Ethiopia has some of the oldest Bible scrolls, dating back before Christianity came to Ethiopia in the 4th century AD. The Ethiopian Bible includes books and texts not found in other versions of the Bible. Politics and the desire for power played a role in which texts were included in the standardized Bibles of the 4th, the 5th, the centuries AD. Language barriers and theological political differences have contributed to the Ethiopian Bible being less well known and accepted internationally. The Ethiopian Bible sheds light on how the Bible has changed over time and excluded different texts.
False information. The Ethiopian Bible is not banned at all. The AI is reaching.
Governments don't want you to know about this money code.
Money is water by law. This is why all ships are female, because the captain always refers to his ship as she. Why she? Because she delivers the product. So when the ship pulls into harbor, so where it parks is called its berth. It's berthing a ship. And every item on that ship, coming out that ship, is money. It's money changing hands.
Right.
So every piece has to have what is called a certificate of manifest. That's why when you were born, your mother's water broke. You were inside a container of water and you came out, and therefore you have to have a birth certificate.
Wow.
There, and it's got to be signed by the dock, because that's where the ship is sitting. The dock is where the ship sits.
It's funny.
So once you begin to see how the words and terms are all based on maritime admiralty, the law of water, the cash flow, the liquid asset. When the British began to dominate the seas, the Knights Templars brought all of these concepts, and it was developed into a commercial system of words and terms and symbols which are used in courts and government and corporations. By law, your body, your physical body, is a corporation. And so when you die, you're a corpse. You are a business. And hanging out with that person is bad business.
Right.
Or who I hang out with is none of your business.
It seems like we are a commodity of the system, numbered and stamped. We are not looked upon as humans, just a number. Let me know how you feel about this.
Terror was everywhere, and history is fabricated, completely fabricated, all of it. We used to think, well, you know, the Dark Ages, we don't know what that is. We realised that they invented the Dark Ages and just put that in there, chuck a whole bunch of stuff back in the past. And we realised, you know, some of history might be wrong, but no, it's all fabricated. The whole lot is fabricated. An interesting thing is the architecture we find all around the world in all of our cities, that old Gothic style architecture, incredibly intricate design, and people look at it and say, oh, that's just the way they did things in the old days. A lot of those buildings, like, they're so beautiful. The design of those buildings is so beautiful. And think about it, if we lived in a feudal culture, if we lived in a culture where you had to go out and work for a living and earn a wage in order to pay to be alive, you would never have had the time or the inclination to construct buildings that look like that and function in the way they did. These buildings were created as artistic statements. I mean, they were functional, they were power sources, they were generators. They used to generate their own free electricity, all sorts of things. But they were constructed in such a way that the beauty was a part of it. You just wanted to celebrate what you were creating. We don't do that sort of stuff anymore. Just the beauty of those buildings and the incredible complexity of those buildings is a great indication that we didn't live in this pay-to-be-alive society that we're living in now. Tartaria was all over the world. It was an advanced culture that had free energy. It was based on etheric energy, and it existed up until around about 200 to 250 years ago. We think even like the earliest would be about the mid-1700s. It maybe was destroyed, possibly even a little bit later than that. And around about 1880, the late 1800s, they repopulated the world with children. And then they taught them whatever history they wanted. And you got to wonder where all the children came from. Just look up foundling homes and foundlings and orphan trains across the United States, across Europe. They were everywhere, children everywhere. A couple of years ago, I was reporting on all this sort of stuff. And then the fires broke out and COVID broke out, and I had to kind of leave the topic and get on to more important things that are dealing with us now. But they repopulated the world with children in the late 1800s. They were literally having, they had amusement parks where they had babies on display. They had baby raffles in Paris in 1915. trains of orphans going across the country, across the United States. Orphans being sent out to Australia, New Zealand, Africa, just repopulated the whole world with children, and then taught them whatever history they wanted. And now we've got to this point where they're basically harvesting all the souls of those people. It's like they grew their herd, you know. I've often referred to the earth as a people farm. We're living in a people farm, and people don't really realize it. I think of each country as its own separate pen, and what they've done now at the end, this is harvest time, and they're stock taking. They've closed all their pens, they're doing their stock take, and they're harvesting all those souls that they can get, leading them into the mainframe. And it's a natural progression from what happened in Tartaria. I mean, this would be the complete loss of human consciousness if they were able to lead us in there and actually able to get away with this. It will be the end of humanity. But when you really look at what we had, I mean, it's incredibly inspiring to see the art and to see the ancient history that's right there in our own cities, if you just go out and look around your city with the right eyes.
I believe that fallen angels and the Nephilim created these structures with their powers. What do you think?
It's not what you think it is. There's a theory that the Anunnaki are actually evil. And even though people think they're the great architects of humanity, the truth is actually super disturbing. Some say the Anunnaki are extraterrestrial overlords that enslave the human race, that they feed on human souls, that the earth is a human farm, and that we're trapped here by the firmament until they return. But wait, it gets darker. In 1989, 2 British police detectives received an anonymous tip that led them to make a chilling discovery in the basement of a deserted country manor. In the years that followed, they uncovered a web of secrecy that led straight to the heart of a shadowy cult known as the Cerulean Covenant. Their belief that by serving the Anunnaki, they could secure their bloodline salvation. But here's where it gets weird, because tracing back their origins reveals a connection to none other than Pope Pietro Francesco Orsini. Now, why does that name ring a bell? Because in the shadows lurks a figure more powerful than the white Pope and the black Pope combined. Pepe Orsini, also known as the Great Pope, pulled strings you didn't even know existed, steering the course of the world from the depths of obscurity. And one more thing, those police detectives, they're both missing.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. We were created by Him, no one else. Anunnaki are the fallen angels.
So one week we get a script, there's a new character for me on all that named Noseboy. Naturally, I'm in a superhero costume, which is just tights and underwear. You know, what was different about this, they gave me a prosthetic nose, like an enlarged nose, and they put this same nose on the costume.
I'm Captain Victor! What are your special powers?
You can't help but notice that it looks like penis and testicles on my shoulders.
This is a child playing this role, and he's playing it for other children. His audience is kids as young as 6.
I'm allergic to asteroids!
And the joke in that sketch is effectively a shot joke. It's a shot joke for children.
I'm just looking back at it, it's just very strange. Frankly, it was just uncomfortable. In the moments to myself, you would just be thinking like, hey, this is what we gotta do to be on the show, to stay in the cast and stay in the good graces of the people that were higher up.
Some of the child actors felt like they could not push back, especially with Dan Schneider.
And so I always did my best to be a trooper, never complain, because we knew being close to Dan could mean an extra level of success. It was important to be on his good side, and he made it known who was on his good side. What really made me feel the most uncomfortable were the leotards. I mean, I was just a growing boy trying to, fit into my body, and it was just out there for everyone to kind of look at and judge me, or, I just felt very exposed.
Perverts are running this entertainment industry, folks.
Number one mistake that you make is that you think they wear jewelry just because they are rich. Firstly, the crowns are made out of gold and other gemstones like crystals, which all contribute to amplifying the frequency of your energetic field. Usually they wear purple to symbolize royalty. They wear this on the head because the head is connected to your crown chakra, your highest state of consciousness, which is purple. A lot of ancient cultures used to be decked out in jewelry. They used to hold canes with metal on the bottom and the top because the earth produces magnetic energy, and by grounding you are actually amplifying your field. When the body is producing a high frequency because of the amplified field, they would be able to sync up with a higher consciousness. This is why you should fill your spaces with precious metals and crystals, because the atoms that create these metals and gemstones are resonating on a high frequency. I have a few of these orgonite technology necklaces left. If you want one, the link is in the bio.
Those are New Age BS. But purple was the hardest pigment to get in ancient days because this was a sign of wealth.
Video today of this man at like a press conference kind of thing, and he was at one point like pretty high ranked, made it pretty high up in the Air Force as some sort of like electrical engineer. He was telling this story about 30 years ago. He was brought into this group for NASA. There was something going on with their lunar satellite. It like wasn't receiving. He said he walked into this room and there was scientists from all over the world trying to figure this out. And he's like, this is strange for NASA to have scientists from all over the world trying to figure this out. And then he was debriefed by this one guy, and he said the guy, when he was presenting this stuff, he was like kind of nervous, and he's like, these are pictures that we have from the dark side of the moon.
They have pictures?
There's a base camp on the dark side of the moon, and they were showing pictures of all these buildings. He said it's top secret. And so like he came out and was like, I've been waiting for them to talk about this news for 30 years and they haven't done it yet, and I hope by me saying this they'll bring that out.
Prize money could be a good surprise or a bad surprise, but I make peace with it. Alright folks, I'm going to end our video with this coming clip. Be kind to each other. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and don't forget to like or dislike so I can make better content. Thank you for staying till the end. There's a free gift for you. If you like, the link is in the description below. Thank you for watching. Peace, and have a prosperous day.
What?